Hello, welcome to my channel. So today we are going to talk about application of polar coordinates. My name is Ayush Kumar and my library number is 23CL1600 and my section is Audi and I am from Department of Computer Science and Engineering. So let's get started. So applications of polar coordinates. So polar coordinates is basically a mathematical concept using distance and angle, which we used to find an application in a script designed for graphing and what do you see navigation. The script performs precise calculations, transforming abstract equation into graphical representation. It also symbolizes of mathematical rigor and practical implementation, where algorithm harmonizes with the interaction of polar coordinate systems. Let's get started. So the first application is polar coordinates in the position and navigation. So now you might ask, like, how is polar coordinates used in position and navigation? So the main thing of polar coordinates is basically used in circular based or rotatory based things like a fidget spinner or anything like which can turn and which has like a three-dimensional thing. So polar coordinates are used often in navigation as a destination or direction of travel can be given as a angle and distance from the object being considered. For instance, for a aircraft, like you can imagine an aircraft which uses a slightly modified version of a polar coordinate for navigation. Usually, all the aircrafts, any ships which you see in the modern world is being used by polar coordinate. In this system, basically, it is generally used for any sort of navigation. It is also the 0 degree range, generally called heading 360, and the angle continue in a clockwise direction rather than counterclockwise, as in a mathematical system. So heading 360 corresponds to the magnetical north, while heading 90, 180, or 270 corresponds to the magnetical east, south, and west, respectively. Thus, an aircraft traveling 5 nautical miles due east will be traveling 5 units at heading 90. So, it basically contains angles. Now, polar coordinates in modeling. So, polar coordinates in modeling is basically to provide a natural setting for a polar coordinate system with the central point acting as the pole and the rest as the axis around that. So, a prime example of this usage is the groundwater flow equation when applied to radially symmetrical wells. The systems with the radial force are also good candidates for the use of polar coordinate systems. These systems include gravitational field, which obey the inverse square law, as well as system with point sources such as radio antennas, which also uses the polar coordinates. So polar coordinates are also used, for example, in microphones pickup pattern illustrations. So it basically responds to an incoming sound from a given direction, which could be anything like a 360, and these patterns can be represented as polar curves. The curves for a standard cardioid microphone. The most common unidirectional microphone can be represented uh, as it is in the target design frequency. The pattern shift towards unidirectional at low frequencies. Polar coordinates in computer graphics. So it is used for rendering and transforming images. So polar coordinates are widely used in computer graphics for rendering and transforming images. They provide a convenient way to represent and manipulate circular and radial patterns. By using polar coordinates, graphic software can apply transformations such as rotation and scaling more efficiently. Special effects. Now, special effect is a thing which you would have seen in some games, movies, and etc. So polar coordinates are also essential for creating special effects in computer graphics. They can be used to generate various visual effects like spiral spirals and radial pattern. By manipulating the polar coordinates of pixel, graphic software can create stunning and dynamic visual effects. So now stimulating a 3D environment. So now stimulating a 3D environment is basically used in games which you might have played. So in computer graphics, polar coordinates are used to stimulate 3D environment by mapping the 3D space onto a 2D polar coordinate system. Graphic software can create immersive and realistic 3D effect This technique is commonly used in virtual reality applications and also video games, which I have already said. So next, polar coordinates and complex numbers. So polar coordinates is already a mathematical term in which we also would be using in complex numbers. As you can see, a complex number that is equals to x plus iy, which is already a complex number. Now you can see that complex numbers can also be represented and manipulated, just like we did in the earlier part of the video. So it could be manipulated in a polar form. A complex number is expressed in terms of its magnitude and phase. So magnitude and phase. So the magnitude of a complex number represents its distance from the origin in the complex plane. It can be calculated using the Pythagoras theorem. The phase of a complex number represents the angle it makes with the positive real axis. It can be calculated using also a few trigonometrical functions. So now we have come to the conclusion part of the video. So in conclusion, basically the polar coordinates are just the mathematical curiosity, but a powerful tool with diverse application in navigation, motion, physics, engineering, and even graphical representation. Their ability to capture the relationship between distance and direction makes them a valuable asset in many practical and theoretical domains. In essence, polar coordinates are not just another way to plot points, but a powerful set of tools that unlocks a different perspective on space, simplifying complex relationship and revealing hidden elegance in different fields. They are a testament to the beauty and versatility of mathematics, offering solutions that Cartesian coordinates for all their power can sometimes only dream of. So that's it for the video. I hope you like the video. If you like the video, kindly drop a like and surely let me know in the comments how was the video. That's it for the video. Thank you for turning in.